of 62. On Thursday, partly sunny and hot with a high of 93. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons with your 14 First Alert forecast.
Not available in New York.
From the Floor Concept Studios, legally we're WLME 102.7 FM, Lewisport, which you can just call us The Game. 1027. On the air. 1027. Concerns, Clarence.
Roger. What's our Victor?
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to
Live at 5.
It's Live at 5, and it's brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree, FWHlegal.com. And now, your host for Live at 5, Stephen A. Turner.
What's up and welcome to Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree, dedicated to you, committed to justice. That's FWHlegal.com. Vic Evans, David Clark in the Floor Concept Studios, also on the live stream thanks to Legendary Pools and Spas. And hey, make sure you download that Owensboro radio app. We got 6 big games coming to you Friday night. It's your own little high school red zone channel. You can also find Live at 5 if you miss it. It's on Facebook Live, X Live,
it's everywhere
YouTube.
now.
It's still on Spotify,
Yes.
iTunes, iHeart, wherever you consume your podcast.
I don't think you can avoid this show if you wanted to.
Well, we don't want you to.
I
We
know,
want
it's
you to
what
take a
I'm
listen
saying.
to it.
We want to
Otis.
shove it down your throat. Propaganda Sports 101. We're shoving it, baby.
And then also, if you want to hit us up, you can always hit us up on the Green River Area Federal Credit Union text line 270-903-0389, and we'll answer your questions. Or you can hit us up on the chat in the live streams. We can answer those too as best we can. Steve is still down at Virginia Beach, so Dave is checking in for him.
Poor Steve.
It is tough. Isn't
It's
it?
tough life.
I know. I mean,
We give him heck, but I mean, like, who takes more vacation, Steve or Shannon the Dude? It's got to be Steve,
Well,
right?
I saw in our group chat, Chris Riley sent out that he misses Live at 5 more than Matt Jones misses KSR now, and it's pretty close.
I mean, I'll leave that call. I had a comment. I will turn the other cheek.
Speaking about KSR, and I'm a fan. I'll listen as much as I can, but I was absolutely blown away today.
Oh, yes.
How about Jeff Goodman
Yes.
on KSR? I mean, those are words I never thought I would speak ever together again. Jeff Goodman on KSR, and I thought he did a pretty good job. I don't know if you heard any of it, but did it surprise you that Goodman coming back to KSR? Now, of course, Matt's over in Africa, and that's the way it works.
Matt's over blessing the rains down in Africa. It's a total reference there. But, it doesn't surprise me. I'm a firm believer, Vic, that all beefs can be mended if people are just willing to put their pride down and sit down and have a conversation. I'm glad Jeff Goodman was on KSR. I haven't got to listen to it today. But, I think a lot of that gets complicated behind the scenes. When you get to become friends with certain coaches, and then all of a sudden you got the local radio guy that you feel like's going after your friend. And listen, I may disagree with Matt Jones on a lot of stuff, but his criticisms of John Calipari were validated, and I can second that because we were doing it 5 years before him.
Right. With Goodman, it started as, Goodman was very anti-Cal. He's been not a Cal fan whatsoever. And when Cal, the first, 7 years of Cal at Kentucky, I mean, there was not you criticize him about. You were going to Final Fours, you were winning.
It really had to chap him.
Right. And so I can see where, Matt Jones would take up for Cal and for Kentucky. And then as it soured and as Cal soured on Matt Jones and it, it was time for a parting, a divorce of the ways, if you say, of UK and Cal, then you kind of welcome back kind of the Cal guys who didn't like Cal. But it's also tough on the national guys because they do, and I think people forget this a lot, they become good friends with a lot of those coaches.
Yeah.
And they're protected by some in the media. I mean, it's just the way it works.
And not only that, because the livelihood for the national guys, you think about the Jeff Goodmans and the Peter Thamels and then, all the Schefters on the NFL side, you have friends in high places, right? So you have to dance around like, okay, somebody's attacking my friend. Do I put a spin piece out to kind of make it look like my friend's not doing as bad of a job? But I don't want to, because if you don't get in the middle of it, well, is that going to protect the integrity of you getting a story leaked? Listen, it's always in the media first to the story, right? That's that you want to be the guy that gets the
sometimes
scoop.
too bad.
And I think that's where it muddies the waters of like, this is my friend, this is my source of my information. If I go against that, even if I think it's the right thing to do, can I do that? And at that level, man, there's a lot of tough decisions that's got to be made. And it's easy for me to sit here and criticize that because I'm not working at the mothership, right? So, and my job's not depending on that story.
And we will critique the mothership when it needs to be critiqued. I mean, don't screw up the red zone. Don't screw up the NBA thing. I will say right now, the lineup that ESPN Radio has got put together and our lineup that we hear at 102.7 is as good as it's ever been. You know, when you get, unsportsmanlike that gets followed by, KSR, and then you get followed by Rich Eisen, which I love the Rich Eisen show. Yeah. And then, you get
we also got Leach, right?
Yeah, Leach starts it off. Leach, so you got unsportsmanlike Leach at
Tom
8.
Leach,
at 8:00, and then KSR. You kind of get your 3 hours of UK fix. And
I
then,
would challenge our lineup against anything.
Yeah, and then I like Freddie and Harry a lot. That leads right into us. You get 3 hours of Freddie and Harry. I think that's a great show too. So adding Rich Eisen, I think, just really helped the overall and unsportsmanlike. I was never a fan of the morning show after Mike and Mike. I didn't think it worked well with Jay Will, Keyshawn Jay Will, and those guys. And but I do think unsportsmanlike is unbelievable. Evan Cohen, is unbelievable. And just the whole lineup now with adding Eisen in there and the whole 102.7 the lineup. There's not a lot to be negative about because I think it's a great radio lineup.
I think you getting rid of Feinbaum was a good call. Feinbaum's getting stale. It's the same stuff over and over again. And at some point, it has to be. I feel like Paul Feinbaum. What made it great is almost becoming its downfall because you can tune in every day and predict what it's going to be. I'm glad we picked it up for when we did, but it was time for a change.
Well, it's not just that, and I'm a Feinbaum fan, but it is the one radio show out there that I can ever think about where it was more about the callers, than it was the host. And the problem is. And sad to say, a lot of the callers that you would want to tune in and listen to are now no longer with us.
Yeah, they passed away.
And they've passed away. Yeah. And so when the show is all about the callers and not, and put politics aside, but Rush Limbaugh was a great, radio show host, very entertaining. His callers were okay, but the show was about Rush, or the show was about Mike and Mike, or the show's about Rich Eisen.
I agree.
Feinbaum's whole show truly was about the callers.
Yeah.
And the callers, the thing about it is he had such great callers that would call in all the time who you knew.
Yes.
And were tremendous.
Became stars.
And they did. But the problem is everybody that called in tried to be them.
Yeah.
And they can't do it.
No.
And now that when the show's not based on the host, and the great callers are no longer with us, and it's people trying to be, the C minus, version of a caller. It's just not as good.
Yeah, and then Paul started trying to do the whole hot take thing, and got in trouble with Saban and some of those guys, and I thought it was a bad look. But I will say, today's lineup, 102.7 a game, it's rock solid. You get your sports fix all day long. We got Vic. We got a lot of movement in the Owensboro Health Top 10 today.
So in segments 2 and 3, we'll have the Owensboro Health Top 10 Players of the Week. The very last segment of the show, we'll get the Players of the Week that their schools were not, were not football players,
right.
and or not in the top 10. That's the way we do it now, and we'll make sure to get all those out. Make sure you follow along. 102.7 The Game, X, Facebook, Instagram. Listen, the social media is blowing up. I mean, thanks to you guys out there listening every day and watching the stuff we're putting out. In the last 28 days, it's now 1.4 million viewers of stuff that we've put out on Facebook, which is absolutely unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. You guys are rock stars out there, and we're going to continue to bring you guys the content that you guys want. And Vic, I'm ready to jump into it, man.
We are. Before we get, you got the Bucks and the Chargers last night. Bucks in the first game on Monday night. Second game, the Chargers were right here on 102.7 again. Got to hear that. Bucks moved to 2-0. Chargers moved to 2-0. Texans dropped to 0-2. I'll tell you what, Baker Mayfield, he should be in Cleveland. The plays he made down the stretch last night were unbelievable.
He's a guy, that was the whole talk on X last night, was just Baker Mayfield. And he's a guy that, I was talking about Castellanos yesterday at Florida State. If he can just become a little bit better passer, I think he's more Baker Mayfield, because I look at Baker Mayfield as kind of in that Kyler Murray.
Well, Baker's not the dual threat they are when he
finds a way to not get sacked.
He's not fast.
It's hard to explain.
One, he's a smaller guy, but he'll find a gap.
Yes.
And he had the big run last night on what was it, like 3rd and 14 and picked up 16 yards. And you look at him, and he's not the most athletically gifted guy out there as far as speed. But, I mean, this is a guy, and I think it goes to show you, what he's done, what Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, some of these guys that got drafted by teams.
Yes.
That coaching, even in the NFL, coaching and schemes matter.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, we talk about bust in the NFL. I think a lot of times, like 75% of the guys that are quote unquote draft bust. Now, there's guys like, Jamarcus Russell, who just didn't ever, the dude from Johnny Manziel, that just didn't want to study the playbook or know the plays. I mean,
nothing you can do about that.
Right. When you open up the computer, like now they can tell you how often you're looking at the playbook and how often you're studying film. And when Baker Mayfield is studying 0 hours, like no seconds, like never looking, that's not a coaching problem. That's a work ethic problem. But I do think
Manziel.
Yeah,
Yes,
Manziel. Same thing with Russell.
Yeah.
But I do think that 75% of quote unquote draft quarterback bust have more to do about where they're drafted, the coaching, and the franchise itself than the actual quarterback.
I'm a firm believer, and I said it yesterday. I think the general manager is the most important position on every single NFL team. I think a lot of these guys, I know the Belichicks, and I know these guys that have been there over the years. I know these guys, the Eagles coach, I know he's great. These guys know football. Mm-hmm. They know schemes. They know what they're doing. But I don't care how good of a football coach you are, Vic Evans, if you don't have the right personnel.
Well, it's not even that, too. Sometimes it's the right scheme. I'll give you a perfect example. Mike Jones goes out to the 49ers, looks like he's an All-American again.
Yeah.
He gets drafted. Belichick has him, but Belichick hires Patricia, a defensive coordinator, to be his offensive coordinator. You put him with an offensive guy that knows what he's doing. He goes out to San Fran. It looks like, hey, maybe we didn't have to pay Purdy.
You just hit the hammer on the nail as far as my point goes. The front office, take the coaches and the players aside for a second. The front office has to assemble a comprehensive team, all the way from the players to the coaching staff to the support staff. Everybody has to be on the same page and moving forward, or it won't work. You see players all the time bounce around from, like you just said, bounce from team to team. And why did he have success here? Why did he not have success here? Maybe the center, maybe the guard was. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing. Joe Burrow. Look at Joe Burrow. That's insane.
You're wasting prime years.
I don't want to do it again, but like Cincinnati, what are you doing? Like what are you? It's not that hard.
I understand to go out and spend all this money on receivers and the quarterback and all this, but if you don't have guys up front that can block for him, all you're doing is asking him to get hurt in the NFL. You
don't get a chance to draft guys like Joe Burrow very often.
No.
And you're blowing it.
100%. I've been saying, I literally said I was one of the few people that after he took them to the Super Bowl and got beat.
Yes.
Fire Zach Taylor, because Zach Taylor is not going to be a winning coach in the NFL. And I remember having that conversation with Caleb on Live at 5 when he was filling in, and I was saying, no, Zach Taylor didn't take him to the Super Bowl. That was all Joe Burrow's doing.
It was.
And you're seeing that play out now. And I just think it's so important. And as great as Belichick was it Belichick, was it Brady? But I don't care when you go out.
Both.
When you go out, it was, but I think it was a lot more Brady too.
It was.
When you go out and hire Matt Patricia and make him your play caller and your offensive coordinator, you're giving Mac Jones no chance to be successful. You've seen it in New York with all the the quarterbacks they've gone through, Daniel Jones and the Jets with Mark Sanchez and Sam Darnold and all these people. They go to other places with competent offensive people and look like at least competent quarterbacks.
Yeah, you cannot have missing pieces to the puzzle in the National Football League. You can get away with that at the high school level, depending on, talent level. College, it's a little harder to get away with, but if you've got a generational quarterback at college, you can mask a lot of deficiencies there too. It ain't going to happen in the NFL. I've only seen one guy in my lifetime. I was born in 1981, Vic. One in my lifetime that was able to overcome a horrific offensive line, and that man was Tom Brady.
Yeah, he was special, and that's why you have 7 Super Bowls.
Before
we go to break, I just do want to say, All right, because we had people in from KBA, and we had some, different people came by the studio to go through and do a walk through the studio. Met a lot of people at KBA. Met a couple of nice guys. It was JC and Ken, who have a morning show down in Paducah. They do a tremendous job. They've been a finalist for Best Morning Show 3 straight years.
Wow.
And but I do want to give them not a shout out. I do want to let you know, because they kind of trashed Owensboro a little bit in their morning show today. And it was you had the dinner at the KBA. It was a great dinner. You had chicken breast, pork loin with the vegetable medley and a roll. Really good. But one of the guys, I think it was Ken actually, or I don't remember if it was JC or Ken, but one of them wouldn't even try a bite of it. And then complained that you couldn't find anything around Owensboro when the award show got over at 10:45 on a Sunday night. And they're like, Owensboro's terrible. There's no food there. How can you not eat in Owensboro? Paducah, we always thought Owensboro might be a bigger city, but Paducah's a lot better. It was Sunday night at 11:45. Where are you going to go to any town and get something to eat at that time?
You're not eating in Louisville unless you're going to White Castle.
I mean, come on. I love you guys.
By the way,
you guys have a great show, but you're so wrong about the city of Owensboro.
Yeah.
You actually bombed it. It's not my fault you won't eat free food.
Yeah, listen, Paducah is a lovely small town. Heather and I have been there. We went to a concert there earlier this year when it was still cold outside, and I think they got a quaint, cute little downtown. They got a great Cajun restaurant down there on the river that we went and ate to, but Paducah.
I mean, come on.
Slow your roll.
I know. I mean, come on.
Stop it.
Come on, JC.
Stop it. You're Paducah. Stop it.
It's 11:45 on a Sunday night. There's not your mom and pop restaurants are not going. The Lure's not going to be open at 11:45.
Paducah, you're so important that half the state can't spell Tillman correctly. So I'm just saying.
Before we go to break, let's take a pause for the calls.
Yeah,
for Karen Gross.
Yeah.
Let's get you Karen Gross reading there, Dave. We're going to let you do it this time.
Absolutely. Karen Gross, a realtor with Remax Professional Realty Group. Your dream is her mission. 270-315-9810. You can find Karen Gross at KarenGross.net. And you're listening to Live at 5 on 102.7 The Game.
The attorneys at Foreman, Watson, Holtree have handled thousands of personal injury lawsuits. We know how a serious injury can change your life forever. If you've been injured, the attorney you choose to represent you is critical. Put our reputation and resources to work for you. Let us fight your battles and wage your wars. Find out why FWH Legal is an award-winning personal injury law firm. Foreman Watson, committed to justice.com.
This fall on the road at Vast Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, power meets unbeatable savings.
Don't wait. Right now, get 3.9% financing for 72 months and 15% off MSRP on select new Ram models.
Strength, speed, or family power, we've got your ride this season of adventure.
The Drive into Fall sales event only at Vast Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your deal, your ride. Don't miss it. Enjoy the ride.
Financial partner you can trust? Look no further than Green River Area Federal Credit Union. Whether you're saving for the future, buying a new home, or need a loan, we've got you covered with competitive rates and personalized service. Join the community that cares about your financial well-being. Visit Green River Area Federal Credit Union at one of our 3 locations in Henderson, Greenville, or Owensboro and experience the difference today. Your money, your future, your credit union. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Dano's Cigar Lounge is proud to bring you our annual Stogie Fest and 4-year anniversary party Saturday, September 20th at noon. Enjoy an unforgettable day packed with 3 of the industry's top cigar lines with reps on site offering exclusive deals, swag items, food, and giveaways. Don't miss your chance to celebrate with us at Dano's Cigar Lounge on Highway 54. Mark your calendars and join the celebration on Saturday, September 20th. Dano's Cigar Lounge. Smoke, sip, socialize.
Back by popular demand, Legendary Pools and Spas by John Maurice is here. If John has built your pool or spa in the past and it needs service, repairs, or just a little attention, he's ready to take care of you. He'd love to hear from his former customers, and if you're new, now is the perfect time to see why his work is legendary. Call Legendary Pools and Spas by John Maurice at 270-316-1007. Reconnecting with customers, one pool at a time.
Oh, cold and brisk autumn night, the spirits scream with much delight. Ghostly Productions provides the frights. Get you ready for Halloween night.
When you work at Commonwealth Road Products, it's not about just making things possible, it's about making things safe. People who work at Commonwealth Road Products believe staying safe begins with me, bringing a not on my watch commitment to work, home, and play. Let's keep our kids safe when they play sports. Make sure their equipment fits right and works correctly. Pay attention to the temperature when outside and stay hydrated. Join us in saying no one should ever get injured, not on my watch. Commonwealth Road Products is a proud sponsor of Hancock County Sports Broadcasts.
Local sports at its finest, live at 5 with Stephen A. Turner and Vic Evans on 102.7 The Game.
It's Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry, FWHlegal.com, Vic Evans, David Clark, Floor Concept Studios. And now it's time to get to the Owensboro Health Top 10.
Yes, it is.
And the Players of the Week. And, we've now got like 10 voters. And so now I will say it was close, but there's a lot of movement. There's some there in the middle that, depends on what your thoughts were. But, 1 through 3, pretty solid. But we'll start outside the top 10 with, how about Brett County getting a big win? And so it's a great win for Brett County over Edmondson, one that a lot of us missed, Dave. But let's get to our.
No, I think all of us.
I don't think anybody had it. And then Breck let us. The great thing about Breck is they'll listen and they'll send a message either through social media or the text machine, and they'll let us know that nobody picked them to beat Edmondson and they won.
I'm telling you, Vic. I was looking. I tried. I did not vote Breck in the top 10, but when I submitted my vote, I tried, and I had them at 11, Vic.
Well, I'm going to say, I did too. I'll say this. Maybe one reason that nobody picked them to win the game is our VFW Post 5381 Fighting Tiger of the Week. How about John Edge? Maybe they brought Coach up there. That's who it is.
Timeout. What?
Yeah, I don't know if he had been hurt or if they just decided, hey, we're going to give him a chance at running it, because he hadn't carried the ball all year. All he does is go for 191 yards and 3 touchdowns. What? I love you, Coach Otto. I hope he was hurt. That's all I'm saying, Coach Otto, because I love you. But John Edge is our Fighting Tiger VFW Post 5381 Fighting Tiger of the Week.
2-star John Edges in the area. We got John Edge.
You got 3. You got a coach.
You got a coach and JT Edge, who's John Edge.
Second week in a row that the school had John Edge be the Player of the Week. But
wow.
How about that? That was his first carries. 100, and maybe he was hurt. I don't know. But if he wasn't, you guys had the wrong running back the first 3 games. That's all I know, Coach Otto.
We got to have a discussion. But no, I'm telling you, man, watch out for Breckenridge County. I like what they're doing.
Let's get to the top 10. And sitting at number 10 this week is back in the top 10. Grayson County, they are 2-2. They got a big win, 15-14 over Butler. They'll take on Greenwood on Friday night.
Big game.
Big district game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be without Henshaw. I think he's going to have a 2-game suspension, which is going to really hurt them right there in the start of district play. But our Above All Roofing Cougar of the Week, running back Ethan Mudd, as he rushed for 81 yards in that win. He also had 6 tackles in that win. And if Henshaw is going to be out due to getting, there was a fight that broke out. I think some punches thrown. There's going to be both of them. And Grayson and Butler are going to have, some guys that are going to be out of the have to sit out and be suspended. Mudd, when they go to Greenwood, Mudd's going to have a big game.
And I didn't get to watch, unfortunately. I've been so busy this week. I haven't got to watch the replay on K105, Sam Gormley and the guys. Congratulations on your guys' award, by the way, too. But that's unfortunate. You see temperatures kind of flare up at the end of games, and that's just something as a coach you don't want to see, man. Just play it out.
I will say this. I've seen the video.
Yeah.
Sam showed it to me at the KVA.
Oh, okay.
All right. He scores.
Yeah.
He's 5 or 6 yards into the end zone.
Oh, no.
And he gets taken down on a horse collar tackle from behind with a guy that's coming off an ankle injury.
That's tough.
I mean, it was definitely a late hit and kind of a play that didn't need to happen either way.
Right.
And but you also have to understand you're Caden Henshaw. People are going to take some shots.
Sure.
And you got to handle it better than come up and get into a fight, because Grayson's going to need you.
Yeah. There's not a guy that's more important to their team than Caden Henshaw is to Grayson County.
Let's get to number 9 this week and step them in at number 9. How about the 2-2 Davis County Panthers as they win huge over Christian County 60-7. Now 1-0 in district play.
They are.
And then you go to Henderson this week. And if you can win that one, I mean, you look at what's left out there. That's you're looking at being 2-0 in district and having a shot for a home playoff game, Dave.
Yeah, no, I think Davis County's doing a great job. First and foremost, I think the just the organization. I've seen them on film. You know, I'm scouting them when Owensboro played them a couple weeks ago. I could see the tangible results of what Coach Q Wallace and Renfro and those guys are doing. Having said that, I did not have Davis County in my top 10.
I know. I did
not.
Well,
I did not.
Yep.
I thought the 2 wins came against super overmatched opponents, and there is a team. We'll talk about it after it's over because I got some discrepancies.
Okay. Well, let's get to our champion Ford Panther of the week. Big thanks to Duke Brubaker out there, but our Panther sponsor. I don't know, going on like since we started this thing.
The whole time, Vic.
It could go different ways. You got Ridge Roberts, who's playing really well, but we're going to go Josh Coffey because in the game, Dave, fumble recovery, 2 picks, and a pick 6.
Yeah, it's getting it done.
Yeah, that is getting it done on
Absolutely.
the defensive side. So Josh Coffey, our champion Ford Panther of the week, and then that will move us up to number 8. And sitting at number 8 this week, also 2-2. The McLean County Cougars, as they lost a hard-fought battle to Hart County 28-20. They'll get back on the winning ways this week as they'll travel down to Webster County.
Yes.
The voice of the Cougars, Jalen Daugherty, going home.
Yes.
And getting to call a game down there at his old home stomping grounds. And McLean will be heavy favorites.
There's no doubt about it. I think this is a get right game for the Cougs, the COUGS, as Jalen Daugherty likes to call them. But I think at the end of the day, this McLean County team is doing as well as they can with the circumstances. I mean, you talk about Hart County team that they haven't even lost a regular season game.
They lost 1 in 2.5 years since the start of 2023.
And I know Hart probably isn't as strong as they've been the last couple years, but that's a program coming in with a lot of momentum and a lot of moxie. And McLean County fought and found a way. I think McLean County gets right big this week.
Our Sacramento Deposit Bank Cougar of the week. Going to go on the soccer side for this one is Hannah Smith. As last week they had 2 games. In one game she had a hat trick and a big win. Also had an assist in the other game. So a hat trick and assist in the 2 games last week for Hannah Smith, our Sacramento Deposit Bank Cougar of the week. And that gets us to number 7 in the polls. And sitting at number 7 is 3-1 Hancock County, down a few spots. Tough loss to Apollo. And I know it ended up getting sideways on them 42-7. I think it was just 14-7 when Eubanks went out. They were well in the game.
It was something like, and Hancock County was moving the ball when Eubanks was in at quarterback. And once he went out, the game kind of went away. I think if you're Hancock County, Vic, you just got to take that one because you don't have time to fret over losing to Apollo. Like, you're going to have a very motivated Tell City team at Legion Field, and we'll talk more about that in the next couple days.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Battle of the Bridge coming up. They'll be over in Tell City to take on them, and it'll be huge if Eubanks can get back. I think he was out with a concussion. We don't know. You got to go through all the protocols. We'll see. But
hopefully he passes.
First, right, I'm saying,
health first and foremost.
100%. Without him, they're in a world of hurt at Tell City.
I didn't get to watch the film all the way, but I will say I know I've heard a lot of good things about the young quarterback at Hancock County as well. So
our Southwire Hornet of the week will stay on the volleyball side this week, and it's going to be Inslee Staples. She had 13 assists, 8 aces in the Hornets' 2 games last week where they went 1-1. So Inslee Staples, our Southwire Player of the Week. And now that will get us to number 6 in the polls. And with the big jump up the polls, with the big win over Hancock County, it's the Apollo Eagles, 1-3. Got that first win of the season, 42-7. I know people saying they're 1-3. Just go look at the record of their 3 losses. That's all I can ask you.
In my opinion, they should be 2-2.
Yeah, they gave one against Murray.
They should have beaten Murray. They should be 2-2. And, if things had gone a little, it's not crazy, okay? Just hang with me. It's not nuts to say this Apollo team could be 3-1.
No, they were there with Catholic.
They're not, so this is a team that's 1-3, but exponentially better than what their record shows.
Yeah, I think you're sitting there. What was their teams that they've played? Do you look at 3-1, 3-1, 4-0, 4-0?
There you go.
There you go.
I mean, it's what did we say? 18-2 or something?
Well, that would be. That would be.
I can't do math.
Yeah, that would be 14-2.
14-2. You're the baseball guy.
Yeah, 14-2. They'll take on Muhlenberg County in a big district showdown this week.
Undefeated Muhlenberg
It'll
County.
be the right implement game of the week. Myself and Matt Briggins will be over there at the Eagle's Nest, and our L&I Insurance Solutions Eagle of the Week. Pretty easy this week. Max Johnson, 293 yards, 5 touchdowns. And if you didn't hear his interview on Friday Night Lights Out, go back. Him and Evan killed the interview process on Friday Night Lights Out.
Well, because they're 2 future college football stars.
That's true.
They've already got the interview process down to a science, man.
They better get that interview process down. We'll take a short break right here. When we come back, we'll go 5 through 1. It's Owensboro Health Top 10 Tuesday and Player of the Weeks live at 5, 102.7 The Game.
PSC Fiber is building the region's fastest fiber optic network to deliver essential internet to Perry, Spencer, and DuBois counties. With the customer service and tech support you expect from neighbors, access to high-speed, reliable internet has a positive impact on economic development and social well-being. The ways we communicate have changed a lot in over 70 years, and PSC Fiber is always leading the way. Call 800-511-4899 or visit us at pscfiber.net to see how PSC Fiber is here for you.
Hawkins Avenue PLLC is a full-service architectural firm providing design services for K-12 education, business, healthcare, industrial, religious, hospitality, and mercantile projects across the state. Our motto is design-focused, service-based, and feel it nothing less than mandatory to provide a service to our clients that exceeds our expectations. With a combined 30-plus years of experience, the team at Hawkins Avenue is the architectural firm you need for your next project. Located in Beaver Dam, give Jeremiah or Kyle a call at 270-363-2235.
Sports Country is celebrating 10 years. In the last 10 years, we've seen the rise of social media, a pandemic, and in sports, we saw the rise of new rivalries, the creation of the transfer portal. For Sports Country, they saw a location change in Owensboro and the addition of a second location in Bowling Green. Sports Country says thank you for supporting them for 10 years as they celebrate all month long. Sports Country, 317 Park Plaza Drive, behind Shammy's Car Wash, Owensboro's #1 sports fan store. Search for them on Facebook for events and specials.
It's game on every weekday from 5 to 8 in the morning with Unsportsmanlike. Brought to you by Floor Concepts. Catch Evan, Canty, and Michelle breaking down the biggest stories, the boldest takes, and the realest reactions only on 102.7 The Game. Your home for ESPN Radio. Unsportsmanlike delivers the passion every true sports fan craves. Brought to you by Floor Concepts, where design meets durability. That's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings, 5 to 8, only on 102.7 The Game.
Southwire in Hallsville has been family-owned since 1950 and strives to be generationally sustainable for years to come. They are one of the leading manufacturers of wire and cable used in the transmission and distribution of electricity. Southwire delivers power to millions of people around the world. Their mission to be a preferred provider of solutions to the electrical industry by providing innovative products and services with exceptional quality and delivering on our promises. They also are proud supporters of all Hancock County athletics. Go Hornets!
Hi, it's Duke Brubaker with Champion Ford in Owensboro. The Ford Summer Sales Event is going on now, and 0% APR is back with available 0% on new 2025 Ford Mustang, Escape, Explorer, and F-150. Plus, Ford is offering $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2-year, 25,000-mile premium maintenance included. Ford also announced super low lease specials on most new 2025 Ford vehicles, including Bronco and Bronco Sport. Stop by Champion today or shop in your jammies online at championowensboro.com.
Local sports at its finest, live at 5 with Stephen A. Turner and Vic Evans on 102.7 The Game.
Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry, FWHlegal.com. Vic Evans, David Clark in the Floor Concept Studios. We've also got the live stream brought to you by Legendary Pools and Spas. Want to remind you, the 20th, which is Saturday.
Yes.
Stogie Fest out there at Dano's Cigar Lounge. And I mean, listen, they put on great events, but there's not a better event that they put on than Stogie Fest. Go check it out.
All the greats smoke a stogie.
There you go.
If you want to be great in life, you better get to Dano's to Stogie Fest.
Let's get back into the Owensboro Health Top 10, or Top 10. Now we're in the top 5 and sitting at number 5, down a spot. How about 3-1 Tell City, the Marksman, coming off a tough loss to North Posey, but
no
very
shame.
competitive.
No shame. North Posey's a good football team.
I think it was tied at halftime.
Yep.
It was right there and just couldn't get it done in the second half. They'll have the Battle of the Bridge as Hancock will come across the bridge in that new born rivalry that they just started a few years ago. Every game You know, I was thinking last year it was decided on a Hail Mary.
Yes.
The year before that, it was a great game, and they've all been good.
Yeah, it must be that red, white. Both teams are red and white.
Yeah.
Hancock's got a little gray in there. But, for me, the question I had for Tell City was answered on Friday night. I needed to see – I fully picked North Posey to beat them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I needed to see Tell City compete. I needed to see that they could compete against a team of that caliber. And they checked that box for me, Vic.
Well, our Tell City Football Boosters Marksman of the Week, how about running back Brandon Casebold? And he's been unreal this year. Tomorrow we'll release the Harris Group stat leaders, and it's going to be rushing yards, top 10. He's going to be somewhere in the top 5.
Yes.
All Brandon Casebold did was he ran for 184 yards, 3 scores, and I'm going to love to see how that Hancock County defense can slow down, or can they slow down Casebold?
Hancock County defensively flies to the ball. They do some things well, and I thought they did some good things against the Pittman kid from John Harden, but then they would give up something, And so Hancock has to minimize those chances where they have to limit those big plays, because Tell City, they're just going to keep smashing you, writing them out. They may not. I'm not saying that they won't break off a 50, 60-yard run, because Tell City can do that, but that's not their MO. Their MO is we're going to just keep punching you.
Yeah, and they've got the three-headed monster. You got the quarterback, Lucas Byer, who's up over 300 yards. You got, I think it's Bishop Wilson the last couple of weeks had over 100 yards. So it's going to be – it'll be interesting. That Ross Pyers-led defense taking on Tell City's rushing attack and the moving company. And the winner of that matchup probably wins the game.
100%. 100%. And we'll tell you who we think is going to win on Friday.
Absolutely. Let's get to number 4 and sit at number 4 in the polls. And how about 4-0? The Muhlenberg County Mustangs got their 4th straight win, a big win over Ohio County. They open district play this week. They come to the Eagles Nest against Apollo. As we said, 102.7, the game will be there. And really, this is a huge, I look at Muhlenberg and you look at that district.
Yes.
Okay. And let's look at it and say, okay, Madisonville and Owensboro would be the 2 favorites.
Yes.
And
Apollo's there.
Right.
They're there.
But if you look at it, then you got Apollo, Graves, Marshall, and Muhlenberg.
Yes.
So can you win 2 of those 4 schools when you play the other 3 schools? Can you win 2 of the 3? Because that gets you in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the thing. Not everybody from the 5A District 1 goes to the playoffs.
No, there's 6 teams in there.
6 teams
so
in
2
that
get left out. So you're going to have to win 2 games. So if you look at it from Muhlenberg, if you look at, okay, what are the most winnable games? Now, can they beat Owensboro? Yeah, anything's happened. I haven't got to see them play. I'll know more
You'll know
when
more
they play
Friday,
Apollo.
yeah.
But I'm going to put Owensboro and Madisonville in a different category.
I mean, Madisonville just beat Paducah.
Right. So then you take Marshall County, you take Graves County, you take Apollo, and you take Muhlenberg.
Yes.
You got to win 2 of those other 3. So Muhlenberg, this is one of the 3.
Yes.
Apollo, Graves, and Marshall. Can Muhlenberg pull it off?
That's a great question, Vic. And I think we find out, first of all, raise your hand, right? If 4 weeks into the season, you had Muhlenberg at 4-0 and then number 4 in the Owensboro Health Top 10. If you said that before the season, you're either the hardest core Muhlenberg County fan or you're lying. But I'm all in on the Mustangs. I love what they're doing. I'm a Clay Wilkin guy. I think when you got a guy that can facilitate and use his legs and his arm, I've told you many times, I'm a dual threat guy.
You're a dual threat guy?
Dual threat guy at the high school level. I want to dive in on the Mustangs a little bit more as the week goes on. Big opportunity. I know the challenge is big for Muhlenberg County. You're on the road. You're coming to Owensboro. You're playing a Apollo team that's finding their footing right now. But think about this, Mustang fans. You have the opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, I'm going varsity blues on you right now. I'm going Friday Night Lights on you. I'll save that pep talk for Friday. But, man, what an opportunity for the Mustangs.
It is. And let's get to our Sacramento Deposit Bank Mustang of the Week. And how about Carson Lynch? Because in the big win against Ohio County, 5 tackles, 3 sacks, and he's got 4 in the season.
And they'll need him to be big Friday.
I think if they're gonna come in here and beat Apollo, he's got to get pressure on the quarterback. That front 4 have got to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback.
And I'm just going to tell you, Carson, you got to read the screens because they're going to screen you.
Let's get to number 3 in the Owensboro Health Top 10.
I don't think Coach Edge would be mad at me for saying that. No, I mean, that's kind of like everybody knows.
Everybody knows. And dropping down a spot from last week, from all weeks of the top 10, Owensboro Catholic. They're 3-1, lost the rivalry matchup to Owensboro High School. And they'll listen, this is a big one because you coming off that matchup, you played against Apollo. I thought Apollo played you really well.
Yeah.
You lose the big rivalry matchup with Owensboro, and then you've got to now find your footing because 4-0 Bardstown's coming in.
Sure.
On Friday night, and everything you want, home playoff through, Kroger Field, it's still possible, but it gets really tough with the second loss.
Yes.
So this is where you've got to really regroup. You hadn't lost a regular season game in forever.
Right.
Now you've got, because you've been undefeated. I think you had to go all the way back to Christian Cal.
Yeah.
Cal 3 years ago.
Oh, yes.
And you won your last 4. So you'd won somewhere in the neighborhood. I think it was because you went 10-0, 10-0. You were 3-0. I think you're around 27 straight regular season games.
Yeah, it's impressive.
You dropped one here. Now you've got to rebound, refocus, reload, and take care of business against a 4-0 Bardstown team that's going to come in and here and not be an easy cupcake.
No, and I think this is going to test the maturity of the Catholic High football program. Obviously, there's no Brady Atwell anymore, and there's no Vince Carrico anymore, but they're still good football players. I'm still a believer in Dramel Carruthers.
Mm-hmm.
Dramel Carruthers can throw the football. If you think he can't, just go buy some tickets and go see. I mean, you got Xavier Maddox and you got the Luke Thomas kid, that's out there, and you got other receivers that can make plays. You still got Miles Edge. I mean, come on. So I think that I did hear I got confirmed today that I believe Caden Conkright is fine.
Mm-hmm.
There was some speculation there. He's going to be fine, ready to go.
Problem is Barrett's not.
Barrett's
he's going to miss a couple games.
But you were without. I think they were without Barrett against Bowling Green.
Yeah.
So you've played without Barrett this year and won a big game. Same thing. Catholic, your back's against the wall. And I think this is what Catholic High does well. They're a very disciplined, structured school and football program. I think they're with their backs against the wall and everybody's even more locked in, and that Owensboro game's just out. We just take it, it's done. That pressure, all the crap that goes along with that game, it's over. Now you can focus on telling the state, hey, don't forget about us.
Right. Hey, we're going to find out. It's been a long time since they had to do this. How do you respond when you've been punched in the mouth?
Yeah.
And if you look at the regular season for, when you've won as many as they have in a row in the regular season, now we're going to find out what they're made of, and they'll be fine. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
I'll save my pick for Friday, Vic, but I'm a believer.
Well, our Independence Bank Ace of the Week, pretty easy this week, is we're going to go with the Lady Aces volleyball team.
Yes.
They go to the All-A. They make a semifinal run in the All-A. They got beaten in the semifinals by eventual champion Beechwood.
Yes.
But what a great run in the All-A.
Owensboro.
Here in Owensboro. Owensboro should be the home of the All-A. I've said this for years.
Wait a minute. The All-A and 2A isn't in Paducah?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But what I'm going to say is Owensboro, the city of Owensboro and the Kansas Hayden to get all the All-A's, basketball, volleyball, soccer. We have the facilities here. Owensboro should be the home of the All-A. It just should.
And on All-A and 2A committee, you probably should be working with us to stream them.
There you go. Let's get to number 2 in our polls, and moving up like a rocket the last 2 weeks. We'll go to Owensboro High School. They get the big win over Catholic High. They will travel to take on Graves this week. And I think this will be a big week for them because I look at this as they are 3 to 4 touchdowns better than Graves. No doubt in my mind. How do you handle success? You get the big monkey off your back and you beat Catholic for the first time in 3 years.
Yes.
After the rough start, you've taken care of Davis County. You got the big win against Catholic. Your offense played really well. Your defense played really well. You got to stay focused because you go down to Graves. There's been times where they go down there and they're 4 to 5 touchdown favorites, and it's a barn burner.
And they have to squeak out a win.
Right, they got to squeak out a win. If this is the Owensboro team I think it is, they go down there and handle business at Graves on Friday night.
I just spoke about Catholic having a maturity test this Friday. Same thing for the Red Devils. You won a big game. You got the monkey off the back. You everybody's excited. The alumni, the juice is back in the program at Owensboro High School, right? Frederica Street's popping again. If you go down and lose to Graves, it's like a train to just run straight into like a barrier, It's so I think for Owensboro, you pay attention to the details, right? Mm-hmm. Assignment, alignment, and the other two that Zach said that I can't remember. Right. It says that my son's he's more structured than I am, but I think this Red Devil football team, I like where they're at offensively. I feel like the offensive line has come light years from where they were the first 2 weeks. I think the camaraderie between DeMarcus Ganaway Jr. and his receiving core is getting better. I say it, man. A guy like J.B. Bryant, he hasn't even touched the ball yet. He's the fastest receiver. Owensboro, like the fact that Owensboro hasn't even really hit, from what I consider, Vic, haven't even really come close to their ceiling offensively yet. Should be terrifying for the other teams in 5A.
Well,
that defense is getting better.
It is. Let's get to our Roads and Roads Red Devil of the Week. And you talked about them. We're going to go whole offensive line this week because this is a group that, hey, here on our show, throughout the area, much maligned. But all they did was put up allow their offense to get over 400 yards total offense. They set Hampton over 200 yards. And when you struggle as the way they did in the first 2 weeks, and then you find that footing and make the adjustments and make the changes and play as well as you did against Catholic, we're going to go the whole offensive line.
Yes, and the offensive line, Drew Johnson, Eli Hampton, Carter Vanover, Cooper Land, and J.W. Munster. And one, I want to say his name. I want to single this kid out because I think he's been the most consistent. Him and Carter, I've talked about Carter twice, rightfully so after the job he did on Friday. But Drew Johnson. Mm-hmm. People don't talk about Drew Johnson because he's not 6'4", 280. Like he's not that quote unquote college prospect. I am telling you, technique wise, I'm watching a lot of film. This kid is playing as good as any offensive lineman in our coverage area right now.
There you go. And that'll get us now to the number one team in the top 10. And since we've started the preseason polls, they've stayed at number one. Yeah. 4-0 Heritage Hills. Yeah. Another dominating performance. They shut out Southridge. They're also now number one in 4A in the state of Indiana. And I had to go back to look because you said something on Live at 5 the other day where about if it wasn't for Chittard. Dude, you can go back and look in like state semis, state championships, regional championships. Like Chittard's had their number. A lot of really good games against Chittard.
Yes.
They just haven't got over that hump and beaten Chittard yet. And maybe these two teams match up later on in the state finals. Goldsberry with another whole hump performance of 5 touchdowns. Peyton Gray was unreal, 100 yards receiving with a couple touchdowns. And the one side that didn't get enough credit, how about their defense? I mean, they're 4-0. They've only given up 23 points.
Yeah, it's. I'm just looking through their stats right now, and just guys like like you take like guys like, and it's a senior laden team. Obviously, Hayden Smith, the middle linebacker, he's averaging 6 tackles a game. You look at this and you go, well, those numbers maybe don't pop. I tell you what, Peyton Gray, probably the most underrated athlete. Offense and defense, I think
in the area.
Because I think about the kid.
It's a D1 baseball player.
Well, I think about the kid from South Spencer, the other baseball player last year, and his name escapes me. And he was like that on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Ty Brown.
Ty Brown, right? Great baseball prospect. I think Peyton Gray's in that same. Peyton Gray's going to Western, right? For baseball. Great Division I baseball prospect. But if you look at what he does at receiver and defensive back, 4 interceptions this year back there, like that kind of luxury. We talk about Goldsberry and we talk about Ruxer, rightfully so, and we talk about that huge offensive line. We saw them in person, Vic.
They've been impressive.
But when you talk about this team and getting to Lucas Oil and achieving their goals, it's the guys like Peyton Gray and
Winchell.
Pledger,
who Winchell's kind of been the guy. Pledger comes up and picks up like 80 yards in the game. They've got, 2 weeks. They'll be Gibson Southern. I think that's the game to look for. They got Washington this week. I think it would surprise me if Washington stays with them 4 touchdowns of them, 5 touchdowns of them. You got Carter Payne, the best kicker in the ESPN Owensboro area.
Yes.
And you look at it and we forget how good we're talking about defense. A lot of these guys go both ways. It's not the biggest roster. Like Jet Goldsberry leads a team with 3 sacks. Yeah. That's your quarterback and your safety. And here, how about this? How about since the start of 2023? How about a record of 31-3?
That's Heritage Hills right now. I mean, they're on a special run right now, and I've said it a few times, and I know their fans are listening. Big shout out to the Heritage Hills Quarterback Club that posts replays of our show every time we mention.
Hey, we look at our heat map. We know where people are listening from. Back in the day, there was but all of a sudden we had a Heritage Hills coverage area. Now it's red. We love our fans at Heritage Hills.
It's red, but I've said it before, and I'll finish with this thought. Heritage Hills fans, enjoy every single moment of this year. This is a run of seniors. You've already gotten the state title last year. Programs don't get this all the time. Even a good program like Heritage Hills with 5 or 6 NFL guys that came through there. This is something that doesn't happen very often, and enjoy. I know everybody gets caught up in, this and that. Are we playing a good enough schedule or, worried about this? Don't do it. Just go and enjoy and go, man, we are the best team in the state of Indiana in Class 4A. I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, you got the best home field advantage, too, with the Jungle.
Yeah,
Jungle. And I'm really looking forward to the Gibson Southern game. That, those two teams, each year, regular season, I know there was a couple of years ago where Gibson Southern beat Heritage Hills, and then Heritage Hills beat them in the sectional championship game.
Dude.
It's going to be good.
I know they're out in our coverage area, but the hearts John Hart. Brownsburg's nationally ranked.
I know.
They're in the USA Today top 25, right? You got John Hart, former rights coach. Nick Hart, Gibson Southern, won multiple state titles already. His brother just took over Jasper. Oh, I don't know, Vic, and all they did was upset Wrights the other day. I mean, these dudes can flat coach,
You
man.
want a football coach? Hart. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll finish up with the rest of the Player of the Weeks in the ESPN Owensboro area, live at 5, 102.7 The Game.
Back to school time means busy calendars, morning commutes, and
Mom, chew. I don't feel so good.
the back to school sniffles. Fortunately, Owensboro Health Urgent Care is here with 5 convenient locations across Kentucky. Use the On My Way app to shorten your wait time and get your family back on track quickly.
I'm ready for practice, Mom.
For life's ups and downs, choose Owensboro Health Urgent Care. Schedule a virtual visit at owensborohealth.org/urgent care.
Looking for a financial partner you can trust? Look no further than Green River Area Federal Credit Union. Whether you're saving for the future, buying a new home, or need a loan, we've got you covered with competitive rates and personalized service. Join the community that cares about your financial well-being. Visit Green River Area Federal Credit Union at one of our 3 locations in Henderson, Greenville, or Owensboro and experience the difference today. Your money, your future, your credit union. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, this is Travis Holtree from Foreman Watson Holtree. You know, we will not allow anyone to deter us from what we are committed to. And we're committed to standing up for people and businesses who find themselves needing a voice because of legal issues. Our attorneys have the resolve it takes to stand up when tested without flinching in the face of adversity. We are Foreman Watson Holtree, and we're dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
Life happens fast, but with the right insurance, you can be ready for anything. At Home Mutual Insurance, we've been protecting homes and autos for generations. Whether it's storm damage, a fender bender, or just peace of mind, we've got you covered. Located at 532 Main Street in Tell City, our team is ready to find the perfect policy for you. Call 812-547-2363 or stop by for a free quote. Because at Home Mutual Insurance, we treat you like family.
Step into serenity and rejuvenation at the Salt Room, where health and relaxation merge into a tranquil setting. Immerse yourself in our Himalayan Salt Room, soak up the benefits in our infrared sauna, or breathe deeply at our oxygen bar. Located at 1148 Main Street in Tell City, it's perfect for those seeking relief from respiratory conditions or anyone looking for a serene spot to unwind and indulge in self-care. Follow us on Facebook for more information. Then treat yourself to an exceptional experience at the Salt Room, where your wellness journey awaits.
Need some killer custom printing? All Authentic Prints has got you covered. We're right here in Owensboro, rocking everything from screen printing and embroidery to high-tech digital designs like DTF and DTG. And guess what? We don't just stop at printing. Looking for some eye-catching signage? Whether it's banners, vehicle decals, or window decals, we're here to make your vision pop. Come on down to 2408 New Hartford Road and check us out. All Authentic Prints, your go-to spot for all your custom print needs.
And now, more Live at 5 with Stephen A. Turner and Vic Evans on 102.7 The Game.
Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree, FWHlegal.com. Vic Evans, David Clark, Floor Concept Studios, Legendary Pool and Spas live stream. Hey, turnover, got a couple things going on tonight. Real quick, you got the Tyrone Young Coaches Show over on WBIO. It'll also be live streamed on 102.7 The Game's Facebook and X. And then at 7 o'clock, Let's Talk Racing over on WVJS with Blake Smith. But Dave, before we I want to get the rest of the Player of the Weeks.
Absolutely.
And we'll go down to Ohio County, and our Hawkins Abney Eagle of the Week will be Paxton Huff, as she had a goal in the district win over Muhlenberg County last week. Anytime you beat Muhlenberg County in Ohio County and you score a goal, that's what it is.
Yeah, and that's a tradition-rich, proud third region powerhouse girls soccer program over there. I know Davis County's kind of ran it for a little bit here, but you go back a few years and it was Ohio County a lot.
Let's go over to Green River Area Federal Credit Union Colonel of the Week over there in Henderson County. We're going to go on the volleyball side. They go 5-0 last week on volleyball. And how about this stat? Ella Whitledge, in those 5 games, 111 digs in those 5 games.
Wait, so you're telling me Henderson has another dominant girls program?
It's just
shocker.
It's just what they do.
They do, man. It's impressive. It really is. I mean, all kidding aside, what Henderson County does in girls sports, across the board.
Should be for everybody.
It's the blueprint.
Yep.
You want to know how to get your girls' sports programs better, go do what Henderson's doing.
Without a doubt. And our FWH Legal Lady Radio of the Week, can't forget Trinity. And also on the volleyball side, it's Lainey Mills. In their 2 matches last week, she had 54 digs. So if you're playing Henderson, you're playing Whitesville, you better watch for those two getting everything, saving everything.
It's fun because, like, for Whitesville Trinity, obviously no football. And for the fall, like, Trinity volleyball is everything.
It is.
And they've had, talking about going to the regional championship, they've had some fantastic teams and really been fun to watch because, for us and the teams we cover, like, how can you not get behind the school with like 94 kids in it or whatever
I'll say this. I love the principal out there. I'm related, Emily Hernandez.
Yeah,
she's my first cousin.
Yeah.
We need 1A football at Trinity.
Yes.
Go hire a Hart and play them there. You're going to win a 1A state title with those kids.
Right.
That's all I know.
That's right.
But before we get out of here today, we had the top 10. Anything that I know you talked about there was you didn't have the same top 10. We have 10 voters, so you get the point system.
Sure.
But you said that there's a team that you felt like was snubbed. I'm going to let you talk about it a little bit. Who got snubbed this week?
It's Butler County.
The Bears. I had them in my top 10.
Butler County. You beat Street. You were in my top 10. So, Coach, Josh Robbins, don't be mad. I wasn't me. And actually, Vic, I can vouch. He had them.
I had them. And in fact, I got an argument with one of the people saying, well, they lost to this team in their front. I mean, it was a 15-14 game. He missed a field goal. Could have gone either way.
And in full transparency for me, because Butler County's 3-1, and they're a missed field goal away from being 4-0, right? Just like Muhlenberg County's 4-0 right now. You can say what you want about schedule or this and that, but the fact is they were almost 4-0. I think at the end of the day, I decided to go with Butler over Davis in my top 10 just because of the overall body.
Hey, I can't complain with that. I think Butler County has a legit gripe to be in the top 10.
They should be.
And, and I'm trying to think who they have this week. I didn't look to see who they're playing.
Yeah,
they got a district game this week.
They got LaRue.
Yep, that's going to be a tough one.
That's going to be tough.
And you're worried also about they may have some players that'll have to, with the commotion with Grayson, what kind of suspensions they have. So you may go in there shorthanded.
And LaRue's 1-3, and that's the game. If you were at full strength, you go, okay, let's do this.
And it's a game in that district, and those 3A districts we learned whenever Hancock moved up and McLean moved up and Butler moved up. It's really good football. But I do think if they go out and they play well, this LaRue team is a team that Butler can maybe win sneak and get a district game here and kind of set yourself up for the playoffs later on.
It just depends, and maybe our friends at Beech Tree can reach out, or somebody can reach out and let us know exactly who's going to be out, because to me it's obviously I know punishments have to be served, and we always got to keep it clean and keep the extracurricular stuff to a minimum. But man, you just hate to see it. There's so much momentum, and you don't want that to affect, especially at an important district game like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's it ends up affecting both teams, because the same thing at Grayson, you're going into a game against Greenwood, and especially going into that new district, with Bowling Green. With I would say, but I still think Bowling Green's
Barron
a favorite
County,
in there. But Barron County, who had a great run last year in 6A, I think got all the way to round 3 and lost a heartbreaker to Great Crossing. And and so both of those teams being down players when you open up district play is just not what you want to see happen, because that's where you want to take over. I mean, that's where you want to make your hay. That's where as much as we want to talk about records and everything, they're 7-1 and there's 8-1. The only record that matters is what your district record is. The rest of them, it doesn't. Love to win against Owensboro. Owensboro needed that win.
Yeah.
But you know what that win means in playoffs for Owensboro? Nothing. Not a darn thing. Maybe a little bit in RPI.
RPI, yes.
But as far as you could beat Catholic, and if you don't win a district game, guess what you're not doing? RPI don't matter. You're sitting at home.
Playoffs,
so these district games are what you really, everything you play up and leading up to your district is just to get you ready for district.
100%. And I think, the one thing that is not debatable, I know that they dropped the game to Grayson County. I know Butler County's out in this week's top 10. One thing that's not debatable, the Bears are better.
100%.
The football program has exponentially improved.
Well, I think you saw Coach Robbins, what he said on media day about, he got hired late, so it was really hard to kind of instill what he wanted to instill. It was like basically the season was on top of it. And now he's had a whole year there, and you're seeing the difference.
Seeing the fruit.
Without a doubt. Hey, join Dave and I tomorrow. We got the Above All Roofing True or False. And we'll talk about what else is going on, a little soccer and volleyball news. It's been Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry, FWHlegal.com.
You've been listening to Live at 5 on 102.7 The Game. Special thanks to Foreman Watson Hultree for sponsoring the preceding broadcast. FWHlegal.com. Tune in next time for Live at 5 on 1027